Let me tell you a story while I assemble and cook dinner on my new fireplace. My name's Elise, and I've been telling my life story here on social media for 3 years. And for those of you who are new here, 15 years ago, I was taken against my will and held hostage for 5 months while pregnant with my oldest daughter. After escaping and being failed by the judicial system, I jokingly offered an old friend $100 to be my bodyguard. Little did I know that we would fall in love and get married weeks later. And now it's been 15 years since we've been married. And we've had our ups and our downs. You see, Big Red and I both came from broken families. Our parents both divorced when we were young, and neither one of us wanted that for our children. Now, don't get me wrong. If your spouse is physically harming you, financially, emotionally, or mentally controlling you, you have all rights to leave. And I advise that you do. But if your relationship is just struggling and you don't know why, I've been there. And I hope and pray that you'll listen to these words. There's been many times in my relationship with Big Red that both of us have decided that we were done, wanted to walk away. And actually, in 2020, I asked Big Red for a divorce. I truly believed we had tried everything, but the problem was, I kept pointing the finger at Big Red. I kept blaming him for it all. And I refused to admit that I hadn't healed from my trauma. In 2020, I was asked to tell my story for the very first time, and it was like my eyes were opened. I have a lot of trauma that I have never let go of, that I had never accepted, and in all honesty, that I projected on my husband. I went home that night from telling my story, and I immediately apologized to my husband for the first time in 12 years. And I consciously, for the next few months, told my story to anybody and everybody I could, because I realized that the more times I spoke it out, the less power my ex had over me, and the healthier my relationship with my husband became. It's now been 3 years that I've been telling my story. My story's been published 29 times worldwide. I've written a book. We've had multiple viral videos and done multiple podcasts. And now that my story is out there, I realize that for years, I allowed my trauma to hurt not only my husband, but my children also. People often ask me how I completely healed from my trauma, and a lot of them don't like it when I answer, but honestly, it was God. I started reading the Bible. I started actually seeing what love was, understanding the reason why I went through my trauma, learning about spiritual warfare and the demons that walk this earth and make people mean. And now we use our story to show others that through God, there is life after trauma. And we hope that you follow along and help us grow.